Good evening, or technically still daytime, to the One Take livecast. Joining me tonight is Cue Ball, aka Jack Purser. He is a trained professional wrestler on the independent scene, and we're just going to invite him on here now, or he can request to be in the video. So here he goes. I'll click invite now. No request, so here we go. Go. Just wait for him to join us. Oh, here we go. Request. Hi, good afternoon, evening. How are you doing?
Evening, man. How's it going?
Good, good. You can hear me all right and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you all good, man. All good. I can hear you too.
Cool, cool. Well, first off, welcome to the show and thanks for being on here.
Thank you very much for the invite. I've been watching for a while. I think you're doing some awesome stuff, man. You know, it's really good to listen to it every now and then.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's really nice. I'm trying to catch up with your show, so as well.
I haven't done it for a while. It was a lockdown thing, and but yeah, sorry, carry on. Sorry.
No, please plug your show in as well. I think that's pretty fair.
All right, fair enough. Well, throughout lockdown, I'd done something called Cue Ball's Bearded Rambles, which was a video podcast like this, but done through Zoom, then put out onto YouTube, where I spoke to different independent wrestlers, some what you call like the big time wrestlers as well, who have traveled along the road, done their thing, and that was amazing. It was amazing to do and speak to some of them. That's about it, really.
Armstrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for those out there who probably would like to get to know you better, my first question is, what got you interested into becoming a professional wrestler?
The thing that got me interested into being a professional wrestler, wow, it's basically going to be the same thing as any other wrestler you probably end up having on here. It's just a case
You're
of
my
watching.
first.
Sorry, I'm
You're
your
my
first.
you're my
Oh,
first wrestler.
even better. I've taken your wrestler virginity on here, if you will. Yeah, it was just a case of being sat there in front of a TV when I was a kid. The wrestling came on. I think I was about 3 years old, and I was hooked straight away. My first memories of watching wrestling, which was like WWF back then, it was The Undertaker and Kane. I don't know if you're familiar with the wrestling back then or what you're
Oh
familiar with now.
yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I love wrestling.
Ah, happy days. Oh, there we go then. Happy days. So yeah, my first encounter with wrestling was when The Undertaker was feuding with Kane. When Kane first came in. It's such a badass storyline. It's probably one of the
Yeah,
best storylines going.
and that
And
outfit.
from that, yeah, and from that, I was hooked. And yeah, it, that's where it started for me. That's where the spark ignited, if you will. And yeah, I won't carry on, because you got the questions you want to be asking me, so I don't want to be taken over. By the
Oh no,
way,
no, no! Please,
by the
please. This is about getting to know these people. So please carry on.
Oh, I know that, but you need to get your stuff in as well, don't you? So it's all good. By the way, loving the beard, man. It's very, very awesome, the beard.
This is just laziness. I do grow a beard, but this is the longest I've ever grown it.
That's cool, man. See, I can't get anything longer than this. That's my problem. So, but there we go. It's all
I
good.
don't know yet. I don't know if this will go any longer. I might just have the big poofy afro beard. I don't know. So see where it goes and everything. It's the sides I hate because they just don't grow properly. They're so slow.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But obviously you said Undertaker and Kane, WWF when it was the Attitude Era back then. Obviously I grew up. I first got into WCW first because that's what popped up on the telly, and then it was WWF and then ECW, and then round about my teen times I discovered independence, not just the big three then, and I just loved watching it. I mean, as when I got older, I could understand the basics and what it actually is, but it was like watching real life superheroes
Yeah,
and villains.
yeah.
But uh, first question would be, where did you train to be a professional wrestler?
That's my second question. That's my second question.
Mhm.
You've done the first one. Now this is the second one. So, all right. So I first trained 2009 in a place called Gloucestershire. That's where I started with a company called Pro EVW back then, which is now Evolution Wrestling. That's where I started. I was there for about a year or two, and the rest is history. I packed up at the time I was young when I started. At the time I was, I left school at the time as well, so and real life got in the way, so I had to work and all that. So unfortunately, work took some of the time. So I kind of stopped a little bit, and then I found a time where I was able to sort of balance my life where I could work and also on the weekends wrestle. That was a couple of years later, under a different gimmick, under a different cat. For anybody who doesn't know what a gimmick is, it's a character, like you'll see on your favorite superhero films, your soaps, whatever, it's people acting essentially without killing kayfabe. I try not to.
Yeah, kind of like when Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, it's just a gimmick change, spices things up a little bit. It's always good to do it.
Reinvent.
Yeah, exactly, reinvent. Yeah, that was where it started for me, Pro Evolution Wrestling, and yeah, like I said, the rest is history. 2009, and now it's 2022, and it's been a good run, I suppose. I haven't made it to the big leagues. I never really had the dream. Maybe when I was younger, when I was like 15, it was a dream to sort of go to America, wrestle for WWE. But no, not anymore. In all honesty, I'm not gonna lie, that's not my dream anymore. I've got a wife, I've got kids, and they're my main priority.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's just good to enjoy the squared circle or ring where it is, because sometimes big promotion companies aren't always the gold at the end of the rainbow. Sometimes it's nice to wrestle for independent companies, and and it's nice to give the smaller guys a chance as well. And as long as you're having fun in the ring, I think that's what all matters.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your experience of wrestling then? Have you done anything yourself? You've been to any shows?
I have taken a bump. I have taken a bump. As a kid, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to be a professional wrestler? Among other things I probably wanted to be as well. But kind of real life, and there wasn't that much wrestling schools at the time in Wales or the United Kingdom back then, like it has now, which is absolutely amazing and everything. But this is probably the best wrestling story I have. So I'm at a comic convention and I'm cosplaying as King from Tekken 2, like full Jaguar mask, the thing and everything. And I had no idea a wrestling ring was there. And there was a couple of independent wrestlers, names I can't remember, so forgive me. And they're just, doing like training, thing, probably getting prepped. And a couple of wrestlers was like, who wants to take a bump? And they see me as said character, and they were like, come on, King. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And so what they did was they instructed me very well. They gone through the basics and everything. And I was listening very carefully. I was excited, but I knew how to take caution. And it was a vertical suplex. That's the one where you got, or for people that don't know names, that's Goldberg's main move, the jackhammer. So it's a vertical suplex. So they got me up, and and this guy was really strong. He was a very lean, strong wrestler as well, and did it. Landed on my, didn't take any pain or anything, and it just felt good.
Yeah.
I did feel a little bit though, but honestly, that was probably a really good experience learning to take a bump like that, because I bet you get this all the time from naysayers, or when like certain mates like to egg you on saying, oh, it's all fake and everything. It's not fake, it's fictional. Those bumps they take are real. Some of it is coordinated, but you are taking shots out there, and you're risking and you've got to make sure you don't risk a broken bone.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty much. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's all choreographed and all? It's real, man. It's real.
It is real. It is real.
It's all real. Damn it.
It is real. It is real. So where did the obviously Cue Ball, great name and everything and everything. Have you had other names, or have you always been Cue Ball when you build? It depends where you work.
So when I first started, I was known as JP, which is just my initials because I didn't know what to go in with. I had my first match, and they said, "So so what's your name, kid?" Well, can we swear on this? I'm just wondering. Can we swear?
Yeah, you can. Honestly,
Cool.
this is a no holds barred, mind the pun.
Awesome, because I do swear a little bit. I should have asked for this, but yeah. Anyway, I thought fuck it, JP. My initials, JP will do great. So that's what I ran with for a while. Then, like I said, I had to take a break because real life Kate got involved, and when I went back, I thought I'm going to change the gimmick up as you do, just try and keep things a bit more make things a bit more interesting. Sorry. And then I worked under the Insane Star JP, which which was like a clown. It was just after the Dark Knight came out, I think it was, when Heath Ledger done the whole Joker thing, when everybody was like bumming over the whole Heath Ledger thing. And,
Sting did that.
Sorry?
Sting did that as well.
Yeah, and funny enough, when I went back, I started doing it. Yeah, that's it. Love it. Yeah, so when I started doing it, I also noticed that Sting was doing it, and I was like, shit, that looks like I'm copying him. But I went along with it anyway. Obviously, he done a better job than me because it's Sting, for Christ's sake.
But Sting copied the Crow, so.
Exactly. Yeah, he
exactly.
copied the Crow.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I done that. I looked I was quite flamboyant. Wore face paint, bright colors. It was a case of so you got noticed. You do things to get noticed, and that was my thing.
Yeah. Well, the face paint. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, the face paint is a gimmick itself, obviously with wrestlers like Sting, The Ultimate Warrior, Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin, Papa Shango, the face paint is sort of a gold dust, is a gimmick itself. Like, it does kind of excite the audience, like, oh, this person's got face paint and everything. I've always liked, that. But the thing, I bet, when you're like doing all those moves, the sweat and the
yeah, it was a pain in the backside. The amount of times after shows, like the people or the promoters or whoever's wrestling ring it was, they'd always come up to you saying, "You've marked my ring with the face paint." So I'd always try and clean it with a wet wipe or something. I'd always try my best to. Thankfully, it was just the Snazaroo face paint, I think it was. I was using it at the time, so it was very easy. To thankfully, but so I done that for a few years, and then because of just some bad stuff going on at the time, I packed up again for a few years, and came back in 2017 under something different again. I was named Alistair Michelson, and that was kind of the dark demonic side of me kind of thing. So every gimmick I've done, I've always tried to I've always told people, if you're going to do a gimmick, the only way you're going to make it believable to yourself and the crowd is if you make it about yourself. Yeah. I've always gone with that philosophy. I mean, if people don't, I'll go away. If people don't, not you, if people don't, want to take that advice, then that's completely up to them. But that's something I'll always say. So
I agree. No, I agree with you. Because like you said, I mean, for example, look at Darby Allin. I mean, his gimmick is pretty much close knit to him and everything. Like, the skateboarding, the sort of the punkish feature and the, so it's nice that you incorporate yourself. But at the same time, it's like playing an acting part as well. You're this person, but also you're this person. So I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just something that makes it easier as well. Like I said, with the Insane Star gimmick, it was me just amped up to 11. I was all wacky. I was wacky, Excuse me. The Alistair Michelson side of me, it was a dark side of me. It was the angry side of me. you know, because I had mental health problems. I'll admit that. I would say I'm not embarrassed to say it at all.
No, no.
I played it. I played that card. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm going to use this somehow. Why not? Screw it. So done that. That gimmick wasn't really working out for me. So again, guess what I go and do? I'll go and change things up again, make it better for myself. And Cue Ball was born, and it's the best gimmick I've done so far. Cue Ball is me, just where I put on a different voice like I'm doing now. It's not much different, but I like to put on the voice because it's something that changes. You know, it's the what's it called? Yeah, it separates yourself from reality, you know, that kind of thing.
Character.
You know? Yeah, no, all method acting and all that bollocks. You know, so Cue Ball is Jack, but he's more confident. He's cocky kind of thing, you know. And yeah, I can't remember what your question was now. I'm awful. I forget stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Well, my next question is obviously bumps. Now, you know, there's a lot of take a lot of bumps, and some bumps can cause injury, or some bumps just happen on the thing. What would you say is your, if it's completely okay to ask, would be your worst bump?
No, it's not okay to ask. No, I'm
Sorry.
joking. My worst, as in a bump in training or bump when I'm wrestling?
In matches.
Worst bump. Without blowing my own trumpet. Oh, actually, yeah. The other weekend, actually, I think you may have seen the video when I attempted a swanton in my match against Kenny Mantra. I hadn't done one of them in about 10 years, and I thought I'm going to pull this out in this match. You know, I'm really intent on need to win this match. Unfortunately, I didn't. But I thought that's going to bring intensity. People are going to see that I'm just going to pull out all the stops. Got it to the top. Fed off the crowd's momentum and all that, you know. I got really, you know, adrenaline kicked in. Got to the top, swanton, and I missed. And I was like, oh, no, I felt that. And that's the reason why I haven't done that for about 10 years. So I would say that would be my worst bump at the moment, currently. But before that, you fast forward to when I first started wrestling, and that was when I took my first ever bump. And that was bad. Yeah. I took my first bump. You know, we get, when you train, when you first start training, you get taught how to do all the bumps. Like yourself, you know, you got shown how to take the bumps and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, take your first, but you know, you go into positions. You know, everybody has their own different ways of showing you how to take bumps. Mine was just a case of just doing a positioning first, sort of roll. So it was like rolling into position first. Once I get comfortable with that and sort of go with the motion, just to sort of start squatting and then sort of throwing myself backwards. So I've done that, and then took my big bump, bang. Oh my God. You know, I had to sort of go to the side just for about 5 minutes to get my breath back. But no, it's a silly thing we do. It's a silly thing we do, you know, with the bumping. But once you've done a few, your body kind of gets used to it. And so sorry, yeah. The first bump I ever took was my worst one, and the bump in a swanton after 10 years of doing that match was my one of them as well.
Speaking of moves and everything, certain wrestlers have like signature styles, like or they mix them up. Sometimes you've got your high flyers, you've got your technicals, you've got your strong styles, and also you've got the brutes and everything. What sort of style do you like incorporate? And can you tell us your finishing move as well?
Yeah, so I would say the moves I kind of go for as like a brawler. So you think of your Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know.
Yes.
He's a brawler, right? You know, everything. Oh yeah, you know. Yeah, everything he does is simple but effective, and that's how I like to work. Simple but effective. So everything I do, it has got a purpose. Everything I do is going to hurt my opponent. I'm a finisher. I've had a couple. It was a choke slam. First, I love the choke slam. You know, just a tribute to The Undertaker, Kane, you know, Big Show and all that. Anybody who had the choke slam, just a sort of a tribute to them. But I found whilst doing that, I was hurting my back at the same time as doing that. So when I was, you know, so I was sending them up, bringing them back down, and like the ricochet from when they're slamming the mat, it was going up my back, up my spine. I was like, oh, so every time I was, oh, you know, really feeling back, so it hurt. So I thought, you know, I've got to change this up now because I can't be doing this every time. This is going to be hurting. And then I pulled out something that I haven't done for a very long time either, which was just an RKO, a cutter, you know, whatever. So I started doing that. And it's just when the moves that everybody knows, you get a lovely like reaction and a pop from it. So I thought I'm just going to stick with that. You know, it's landing on my back, yes, but it's not too bad. You know, I can handle it. I can hack it. So yeah, my finisher is a cue ball cutter, not an RKO, a cue ball cutter.
Cue ball cutter, or I've always called it the diamond cutter, even though it's a thing. But I remember it as the diamond cutter first because I loved DDP.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and have you ever, obviously, do you always go for the pinfall, or do you like to sometimes submit your opponents to defeat as well?
Yeah, I've always gone for the pinfall. Always gone for the. I'm not a very submission kind of guy, if I can really help it. Maybe it's something I should start putting out a little bit more. Maybe I'll get a couple more wins, but yeah, something to think about. That's something to think about what you just said. So maybe in the future I might start bringing in a submission.
Yeah, because you're a brute and everything, and nothing better to make your opponent squirm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I assume you follow WWE, right?
I do, but I've been enjoying, like, again, the independents and AEW and all that and stuff. But you know, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, Roman Reigns is a good example of this.
Oh yeah.
Roman Reigns, he's the babyface, the good guy, whatever you want to call him. He done oh my God, what's it called? Superman punch and the spear. Yeah. But when he came back as the bad guy, as a heel, he introduced the guillotine, the submission move, and make everybody tap out. So that's creative. So maybe that's something I need to do.
Yeah.
Just a thought. So what you said to me then, you know, maybe actually made me think maybe I should bring in a submission.
But it's always good, and sometimes a chair shot on the pin is always good as well. When chair shots were okay.
Yeah. As you've seen this video I sent you, I've taken a chair shot in my time.
Loved it.
I didn't, but it's okay. It's all good, you know.
No, it's good from a visual perspective, like, you know, when you watch it and you're just caught up in there. But yeah. The chair shots, like, obviously they hurt. It's a fucking chair, for God's sake. But how's that measure? Like, has there been like after concussions while taking them, or is there just a way of taking them and then afterwards you just need ice or something?
So the chair shot I took, honestly, I wasn't expecting it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know my opponent was going to do that. So that reaction you've seen, that wasn't a work. That wasn't a case of me being like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. That was a genuine reaction. It sent me like, didn't know what was happening. There's a picture on Instagram somewhere that I posted of myself. The photographer at the show, he took an amazing photo of me. It wasn't amazing at the time, but looking back at it, it looks amazing because my eyes are gone. I have my eyes open and I'm gone. You know, you can't really see the lump anymore. It's gone, thankfully. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, like I said, that reaction of me just flopping on the floor like a sack of shit, that was real. That was legitimate. And it took me a while to sort of come to and realize where I actually was. I had my tag partner, like, I could hear my tag partner, but I couldn't react. It's something I've never experienced before. So it wasn't fun. But you know, I've got a receipt ready. You know,
I know that is when you've taken a bump or a thing that hasn't been a work, or your opponent got too carried away, and then a receipt is like this revenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to reveal that, just in case he does
No,
watch
no,
this. I'm
no,
not going to
no,
reveal
no.
when this is good. That he's going to get the receipt, but it's coming.
Mm.
It's definitely coming.
But it's really important for when you're doing a match. Obviously, it's important to communicate because you don't want things going off the rails or going unplanned. So it's very important to communicate with your opponent as well, because, like you say, you don't want anything going wrong, or you don't want to take chair shots that were unplanned. So my next question will be, what's possibly the best match you had where you communicated well with your opponent and you just gave a great show, and it just worked out like a charm?
It's actually the last match I had. The last match I had a couple of weeks ago is probably my best one I've had. I would say I've ever had. Everything went nicely. It was almost like one of those things that it was too good to be true. You know, we had the match and it felt good. You know, we both beaten up afterwards. Don't get me wrong, but it just felt like it was. You know, in my head I was like, but that went really well, but that was too good to be true. And I was like, just waiting for the footage back every single day. I was waiting and waiting. I was like, I hope this looks as good as it felt and as I thought it was. And thankfully it did. It looks amazing. It is on YouTube at the moment. If you used to search for Ring Wrestling Stars on YouTube, it's Cue Ball versus Kenny Mantra. That's, you know, all around that I personally would say that was my favorite match. It's been one of my best matches so far. Yeah.
And also, you have won a couple of titles. You have quite the resume for titles. Please
Yes.
talk us about your first win, your recent win, and your win that was most special to you.
Well, the win. So I'm not really one for, you know, where I feel like I have to win and all that. You know, without killing kayfabe, we know.
Everybody knows how wrestling works these days. So
Yeah, I know, but I hate to be the one who says that sort of stuff. But you know, we spoiler alert, we know. I'm not really one who's first on winning or losing, as long as it makes sense. Yeah. So, but when we're given, usually when me and my tag team partner Big D, when we're given an opportunity to go in that ring and fight for a title bout, the tag team championship bouts, that means a lot to us. You know, Big D's an amazing man. You know, he's my
I know him.
You know Big D, do you?
David Haig. Yep.
I'll have to speak. I'll have to tell him I was on here then.
Used to be Sith Lords together.
Oh, very nice. I'll have to sort of speak to him about you then.
We used to dress up as Siths for a convention. We did, and we one time went up to David Prowse with our lightsabers, kneeled down, and said, "What is thy bidding, my master?" And he just clapped and laughed and everything. So Big D, yeah, he's a good bloke.
Yeah, he's amazing outside the ring. Yeah, but yeah, when we're given, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's small world, and it's small world.
I know. I thought that's how you contacted it. I thought it was like that's how you got the show. I was like, I thought this was to do with Dave, but it was like cool.
No, not at all. He's useless like that. It's always me getting the stuff like this. Sorry, D. Yeah, when we're given opportunities to wrestle for tag team gold, you know, that means a lot to us, and especially when we're winning, when we're going to win, it means a lot. You know, especially like I said, but Dave is amazing. He's amazing, and I know how much it means to him. You know, I've taken him under my wing, if you will. You know, and it's paid off, and now
he's done so well.
Yeah, honestly, he's doing. Excuse me, he's doing really well. You know, he's the main champion for Ring Wrestling Stars, for Slam Down Wrestling in Gloucester, in the Gloucestershire area. You know, unfortunately, we have lost a couple of our tag bouts, but it just means, you know, we're eager again to try and get back to where we were. You know, we're probably one of the most decorated tag teams in Wales. Yeah, it might be big-headed of me. I don't know, but who else do you know at one time was uh, four, four, four-time tag team champions for four different companies? You know?
I know, no, I don't know that. And you and David are probably the only other wrestlers I know. Personally, I know three others and everything, but none of them are tag teamers.
Yeah, you know, it is. Like I said, I hate being big-headed about it, but you
It's
know,
not. It's an accomplishment. It's like getting a qualification or getting your car. You should be proud of winning such an accolade. You know, it's no
yeah,
different than when an Olympian wins a gold medal or when a footballer wins their trophy cup. I think you should be proud of that. It's not big-headed at all. It's something that you've blood, sweat, tears, and trained for. And I say be proud of that shit.
no, definitely, of course. I mean, you know, a lot of guys, a lot of wrestlers think, you know, just because a bout looks shit, you know, it's like, oh, why have you got that bout for? To me, a tag team bout or any kind of championship bout means a lot. You know, it is what it is. You know, you've been given that title to carry for that company. You know, you're an ambassador for that company. And I've seen here someone pop up Marty Jones, number one. Now, this guy here, if he is still watching, I don't think he is, but if he was still watching, he was one of the top wrestlers in the whole world back in the day. So thank you for watching, Marty. If you do watch this, yeah, you know, like I said, any title that you have, you should be proud of it, no matter what it looks like. You know, that promoter has given you an opportunity to carry the company on your shoulders, and you take it and you make that company something that it wasn't before. Um,
Do they let you keep any as for like a memento, even when the title is taken off you, or is it just lend and like carry it around until it's passed on to the next?
yeah, it's that. It's, you know, some, yeah. I don't know about any other promotions, but the promotions that we work, myself and Big D work for, they have allowed us to sort of bring it back home with us. And I've done a few like bits of media work with the titles in the past, you know, going like around my local area and supporting different businesses and having pictures taken. And throughout lockdown, myself and my kids, we've done this like little series. It's basically what was it? The titles were like had like a 24/7 rule, so the kids could pin it. We could all pin each other anytime they become champions. It was just something fun that people enjoyed watching, and there's some that, yeah, like I said, that we done. It was amazing to do. But yeah, in terms of titles now, we unfortunately lost most of our tag team titles. But that's okay. Like I said, it gives us the fire to try and get back to where he was. Big D is still the RWS champion and the
Hmm.
SlamDown Wrestling champion, so, you know, fair play to him. I did try and get the RWS main title off him, but he's obviously a big dude, so you know, we had a bit of a feud at the time. But we're friends now. We're friends, so it's all good.
Is it more fun being a tag team wrestler than a singles competitor?
I'd say it's even. It's a bit of both, you know. Yeah, it's a bit. In my opinion, it's a bit of both. You know, it's nice to have the singles matches, but it's also nice to have tag team matches. It's almost like having a tag team matches is a bit less pressure off you, if that makes sense. Um, but you know, it is what it is. You know, tag team matches isn't everybody's cup of tea because they can go wrong very, very quickly. You know, the same with singles matches, really. You know, one on one. Sorry, but I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I enjoy anything that's thrown my way. The opportunity, I love it. I thrive. You know, I do the best I
Cage
can.
match?
Sorry,
Cage match?
I'd love a cage. That's on my bucket list to do a cage match. I'd love to do one. You know, I'd even go as far as saying I'd love to do like a casket match. It's on my bucket list. You know, just, or a last ride match or an inferno match. But obviously, it never happened in the UK or anything like that. You know, but you never say never.
Never. Have you done table matches?
No, I've been put through a table. but never done a table. But soon, maybe, yeah. I can't.
Mm.
I can't confirm it because I don't know if it's going to happen myself. But
I know.
maybe, like, if I sort of issue a challenge to Beers and Beatdown, if they ever do watch this, Beers and Beatdown, I would like to challenge you to maybe a hardcore match. When I come back.
I love hardcore matches.
Yeah. So maybe tables could be introduced then. I could put one of them assholes through it.
Mm. Or one of their mouthy managers that take bumps as well.
Yeah, I honestly, I think the UK scene needs one of them managers. That's something.
Yeah,
There's something in the UK, or just
yeah,
independent wrestling, that there isn't a good manager out there. If there
yeah.
is, I'm sorry, I apologize, but me personally, I've never seen one. I think
No, I
that's
mean,
just missing.
I've seen great performers and I've seen great things, but I just think we need to bring back, yeah, they can take bumps sometimes, but it's always good to just have a mouthy manager, I mean, come on, over there you've got your Paul Heymans, you had your Jimmy Harts, you had your oh God, I forgot his name, but I really liked the guy. James Mitchell. That's it. You had your
for a bit.
you had your James Mitchells. You had your those guys. I think especially with in the UK now, we're in Scotland, Wales, England. The independent wrestling scene. I think it would add really good character and audience, but good visual. But God, I've always loved the managers. So obviously you had the big brutes do all the talking and everything, and then you had their managers like going, "He will take you down.
Yeah.
He will take you down to a dark place where no one is going to find you, no one is going to see you again, and the only thing will be black and nothing." Like that. I loved when they used to do that. I loved when managers, especially Paul, Paul, even when he was just an ECW guy, well, he doesn't like to call himself a manager. He's an advocate,
Yeah. But
I
even calling himself an advocate,
I love Paul because he's done so, thing. But like I said, there's so many. But James Mitchell, what he did for, the late great Chris Kanyon and Abyss and everything. And I just think, I agree with you. I think managers really need to, it's all on screen or everything, but it's just fun to do. I mean, I'd love to be a manager on a mouth, but it's just time and everything as well. But especially when the promo build-ups, that's what it's like. So you're not talking to your opponent, you're talking to their manager, but even that interaction, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, but I think the only thing it ruins it is just because obviously the independent scene, it's not very
entertainment.
It is. Well, it is.
Oh, it is. But
it's not like out there like WWE, like
you're wrestlers, not superstars.
Yeah, and it's WWE, AEW noise on AEW, so you can remember it. Whereas on the independent scene, unless you're on every single promotion and doing the same thing continuously with the same person, it just doesn't make sense. So
yeah,
I think that is the thing.
I got carried away.
No, all good, man. No, that's all good.
I went into wrestling management mode, and I just got carried away. And I had them in my head. But thankfully for YouTube, it's nice that people can tune in or channel into more, and social media, of course, to more independent wrestling. Whether it be from UK, Mexico, Japan, or even places like like possibly Portugal or Poland.
Yeah, YouTube's a magical thing when it comes to wrestling.
It is. It's a gift, and it's amazing. You can watch the old British wrestling as well. The days of Haystacks and Daddy, where
I said, that Marty Jones who popped up. He's 7-time world champion. You know what I mean. The fact that some of them are still around now and they're willing to pass on their knowledge when they don't have to. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, that's my next question then. What was the best lesson or advice you ever got from a veteran or from an instructor?
less is more. And that is something I still say to people nowadays, less is more. Because, you know, you have your different crowds on the independent scene. You got your bloodthirsty crowds, if you will. You got your family crowds. He's got a whole range of different genres. You know, you got your death match fucking fans and all that crap. But I less is more. So I like to I like to do family shows. That's just my thing. I like to do, and I find that the less you do, but hang on, let me word this properly. It's not about how much you do. It's how you make it look. So so you want to if you want to build up a punch, how are you going to build this punch up to get a really nice reaction from that crowd? You're gonna tease them like, or you really want to get that crowd just focus on that punch, and then you can work a whole match around the punch. The match can be 15 minutes long, but you want that crowd when you punch at your opponent, you want them to just have that one massive chant, that one massive like pop when you punch that guy. So that's what it means, like less is more. Like, you're doing your body slams, your sidewalk slams, your flying clotheslines like Kane. Everything has got to have a meaning. So in terms of less is more, you don't need to be doing 1,000 moves. You have these, I give any person who steps in that ring respect. You do what you want to do, but you don't necessarily have to do all these flips and tricks every 2 seconds. There's a time and place. In the match that I'm not a veteran or anything, so I shouldn't really say it, but it's my opinion.
You're allowed to give your opinion, especially since you've done, like you said, since 2009. So, I mean, that's 13 years.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, you've been in it for 13 years, so I think you have the right to say what you want to say.
Maybe. But, I say to guys as well, saying, on a typical match card, at a wrestling show, there's probably about 6 matches. And if you're going out there and you're all going to be doing all the flips and all the tricks, it's not going to mean anything. The first 2 people who came on, they've done their flips and tricks. The next person, flips and tricks, is going to start getting boring. So limit yourself to what you do. Do stuff, but make it look good. So, like I said, you do your collar and elbow tie up, make that look good. If it means you got to do less, fine. As long as it looks good, you do your wrist locks, make it look good. Your headlocks, your arm drags, hip tosses, clotheslines, anything you could do, just make it look fucking good. And you don't need to be doing 1,000 moves.
No, but what's the best move someone done on you and it really looked good, and even though you were working, doing your thing, you were really impressed by it?
See, I don't know. That's a difficult one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head.
It's okay. You've done a lot of matches, so it's pretty fair. It's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Well, the next question obviously is music. Now,
okay.
One of the most popping things I think in wrestling is the entrance music. It depends what gimmick you have, what style, what thing. Can you talk to me about your current, but also all the entrance musics you've had throughout your career?
Okay, so my first ever entrance theme was just something I would do, because when you first start, you don't really need to worry about what who you're going to be, what you're going to do. Who you're going to be and what you need to be doing, if that makes sense. It doesn't actually, but anyway, when you do your first match, you're just worried about showing what you've been taught. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you don't really need to be worrying about what your entrance is. As long as you go out there, put yourself over, it's pretty much what you need to be doing. But my first ever entrance song was Linkin Park, With You. I don't know why. It just was. Someone said, "Oh, do you like this?" No, that'll do. pretty much like my name. No, what's your name, kid? GP. That'll do. That's fine. You know. So that's what I used for a little bit. What else have I used? I've used Nickelback, Burn It to the Ground, I think it's called. Yeah, I use that. Not real. Sorry.
That used to be the Raw theme as well. Burn It to the Ground.
Yes, it did. And I at the time, because I didn't watch WWE back then, I didn't realize I used it. I didn't realize. That's a true story as well. I've used Five Finger Death Punch, Back for More. I like that.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, I know, right? What have I used? I can't remember what else. My current one, one I used for Alistair Michelson was, oh my god, I can't remember. I used one for Alistair Michelson. I can't remember what it is. Like, it was kind of like a dark kind of thing. But my current one is Ace of Spades.
Oh, that's my favorite band.
And that's the reason why I use it.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows it. Everybody, as soon as they hear that,
But,
it's like, ooh, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Motorhead's my favorite band, so you know that's. But yeah, it's that song never gets tiring, ever.
No, exactly. So that's your reaction then is the reason why I use it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I love the song as well. I love it as well. Yeah, you can say it's overplayed, but it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah, and another wrestler uses Motorhead for their entrance theme as well.
He does. It's time to play the game.
Yeah. What's his? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
that guy.
Before that one, sorry. Yeah, before that, I just remembered I used it's a band called Monster Truck. Nobody tells me how to live. I think that's what it's called.
Vaguely familiar. I'll have to ask Alexa to play that.
Yeah.
But shut up. Sorry, she says she's got good hearing.
Women.
Oh.
I know. Not really. I'm joking. I'm not really. Don't worry. I'm not one of them.
I know.
But yeah, I had that, and now, like I said, myself and Big D, we use Ace of Spades for our tag team because for the reaction, but I use it myself as well when I come out. And he uses, I can't remember what it is. I hate it, so I can't remember. It's like a remix version of Thunder.
Oh, AC/DC's?
Yeah, but it's like a remix version of that he uses. It works for him. He loves it, so that's if that works for him, then he can carry on. But I don't want it.
Carry on ribbing you with it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So, Ace of Spades. Yeah, and it kind of goes with your merch as well. Your merch, or what you wear to promote your character and everything. I really like the Ace look and everything. When I first saw pictures of you, the beard, the tattoos, the Ace, chair, I was like, oh, this guy wants to be on my show. This guy's there. I was like, please.
Yeah. And now you're like, oh, fuck's sake. Okay, come on.
No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, I love it. Actually, my next question is to do with tattoos, actually. I mean, I've obviously got them, but have you ever got a tattoo and then you had to have a match the next day, so you've wrapped it up and make sure it doesn't get, thing and everything?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Well, I don't know. You kind of do. So I don't know. So when I was the Insane Star JP, I had Insanity on this side. You can't really see it.
I can.
Well, you can, but yeah, Insanity that side. Because my catchphrase was Insanity arrives, and then arrives, but I got it covered up now, just because I got a. I don't know if you can see it. You can just see it, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, but I got it covered up now with a 4 Horsemen thing going on now.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was my catchphrase. Insanity arrives. It was just it's just I just thought fuck it again. I'm quite like that. I just thought I get it. It's only a couple of quid. I get it. It's fine. And then the day after, I was away for the weekend wrestling, and I was like, oh, am I going to do this now? But when you're in when you're in the moment, you don't really think about it at all. It was just afterwards. It was a bit bloody, but it looked cool though. So that was the main thing, you know. But yeah, you know, when you're in the moment, you don't really think about it. It doesn't really hurt that much at all. It might do to other people because everybody's pain thing is different.
Yeah.
But not for me. It wasn't, you know. It's also
But also the process as well.
yeah. The healing process was fine. It might have took a little bit longer because of the wrestling, but it healed up okay.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to ask wrestlers that question. You know, how do they handle that? Well, wrestler, you know, it's just I see so many wrestlers when they get fresh tattoos, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
So if they took like a and I was like, ooh, just gonna leave it. But yeah, is it okay to ask about injuries?
Yeah, carry on. Any questions you got, man? Ask them. It's fine, honestly. I've been fortunate not to have anything really bad. I injured my ribs a couple of years ago when I came back. It was whilst we was training, you know, somebody new started, and it was in that pure accident. I took a crossbody, and because we were doing a crossbody drill that day, and I was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll work with him because I like to work with new guys. You know, somebody comes in, yeah, come on, let's work together. You know, happy to work with anybody. And yeah, like I said, we're doing crossbody drills, and you know, it's just one of them unfortunate things that happens. It can happen. You know, I think what it was, I bumped, and as I came up from the bump, he sort of came down, if that makes sense. So we sort of met in the middle kind of thing. I think, and he crushed my rib. And that was quite bad for about a year. And silly me, I still wrestled throughout, even though I was in so much pain with it. I couldn't really do much, but you know, you live and learn.
Yeah.
And
well
then I
done,
see that. Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, I wish I never did, because looking back at the videos and the matches, you can really see it. I wish I sort of took the proper. I wish I went down the medical route, if you will. It still affects me a little bit every now and then to this day, but you know, it's usually, if it happens, it's usually because I've sort of overdone it. You know, if I've done like I don't know, for example, if I've worked every weekend throughout a month, you know, that's when it starts playing up a little bit, but it's usually towards the end of the match. So I'm like, oh, okay, just one more move kind of thing, and then I can go home kind of thing. But lately it was that one with the chair but you know, sort of knocked me a bit senseless. But you know, after a day or something, I you know, I was all right. But yeah, like I said, throughout my whole entire career, I've never had anything unfortunate. I've never really had anything really bad. I've had no breaks or any sprains or anything, you know, touch wood. You know, I won't either. So yeah.
So before we wrap up and thing and everything, what's next for Cue Ball, and where do you see yourself going, and how do people find you as well?
What's next to Cue Ball? Well, I need to give that receipt, that's for sure. I don't know, man. You know, just whatever gets thrown at me, you know, just that, you know, hopefully myself and Big D can get our tag team titles back from
Please.
from Pro Wrestling Carnage, RWS.
Pro Wrestling Carnage, yeah.
Pro Wrestling. So where you, sorry, quickly before I carry on, where are you from then? You Wales? So you're from Cardiff, right? So what you need to be doing is you need to be coming to some of these shows that we're on. I can meet you in person, and then you can see us.
I would love a locker room interview. Honestly, I would love a locker room chat and everything. I would. It's just you know, obviously this isn't my like you said, this is my hobby, you know, as well, you know, because then I've got work and everything. But yeah, I'd love to, especially a pro wrestling thing. I mean, I'd love to see you and Big D up close and everything. There's just so much to do. But like I said, never say never, and I'm you know, I always seem to go where I like to. It happens, but I definitely want to you guys up close and then have an after or pre-match interview. That'd be cool. But yeah, Pro Wrestling Carnage.
Yeah, maybe it's something we can sort out.
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah, I hope you.
We'll talk about it after, you know, like down the road for
Yeah.
definite. Well,
Oh yeah.
we'll get you doing some stuff. If you got the time and you want to do something, you would like to do something, we will sort it.
I will try my best.
I
That is
have
very, very
contacts.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, what's next for Cue Ball? Try and get some more gold. I'm currently in a feud with Kenny Mancha at the moment, and that's going for
Watch
a
out, Kenny.
title. Yeah, Cue Ball's going to kill you. Need that on a
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Gonna kill ya. Cue Ball's
Exactly.
gonna kill ya.
Definitely. But yeah, that's why I'm thankful for for any opportunity, you know. So, you know, like coming on here as well, I'm thankful for you, except, you know, saying I can come on and all that.
I
It's
hope
been
you come
great.
back. I hope you come back. You know, I love when I have my guests come back and thing more. Like the idea for this show is to plug you in and plug each guest I'm having. I don't care if I get like 10 or 20 followers, but the goal for me on this podcast chat show is to plug you in, is to plug my other guests in, because I want these people to know you, follow you, get interested.
Yeah, yeah, it's appreciated. Where can you follow me? This is like a personal kind of account, so maybe not follow me on this unless. But I tend to do it if I know the person, or, you know, the person wants to get in contact with me, or, you know, kind of thing. So maybe I might. But you can follow me on Facebook. It's just Cue Ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you'll see my updates to do with wrestling and all that. My YouTube channel, which is called Cue Ball's Bearded Channel.
Check it
You'll
out, guys.
Yeah, you'll see my wrestling matches on there, my podcasts, well, my video casts, whatever you call it, with different
I'll
wrestlers.
go on that.
Yeah, maybe. If I start up again, yes, for sure. But I don't know. I tried doing it again, and I just can't do it. It's too
That's fair.
much.
You
You
can
know what?
co-host with me if you want.
Sorry.
You can co-host with me if you want.
Yeah, maybe. I'll be up for something like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anywhere else? No, I don't have Twitter because that's toxic. That's too toxic for me.
No.
No. But you know, if you want to see Cue Ball in person, upcoming shows, you got July 23rd, which is in Stourport, Worcestershire. You got VCW, which is in Risca, Wales, which on July the 29th.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah, that's me. It's gonna be Yeah and Scare, Cue Ball, Big D versus BXB, hopefully. And that's it really for July. And like I said, on my Facebook page, Cue Ball, you can see all my dates and all that coming up. And yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, but thanks for being on here, man. Really appreciate it. Definitely have you on again, and it's nice to have a chat with you. And I'm wishing you the best of luck, man. Keep going for it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely sort something out for you to get to a show and do some stuff. Honestly, we'll sort something out.
Thank you very much. And don't forget the Joker.
And don't forget the Joker.
Take care, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Well, that's another episode of the One Take Live cast. Cue Ball, what a guy. Great guy. Till next time.